Hi students, new to El Camino High School. This is Ms. Napora, and today I'm just going to take you through a brief presentation on how to select your classes for Ventura College. You will be selecting classes with the help of your counselor, so don't feel like you need to know all this information, but this is just to kind of give you a brief overview of how you take the thousands of classes that are offered at Ventura College and kind of start narrowing them down so that you can thoughtfully select your classes that will meet your graduation requirements, as well as maybe help you explore career interests and some other factors as well. So we want to welcome you on behalf of all the El Camino staff. We want to welcome you to our school. We're excited to get to meet you in the fall. We look forward to seeing your faces in person. This presentation today is going to include several things. First, we want to talk about what you need to do before you can get started in thinking about the registration process at Ventura College. Things to consider when selecting your classes. We're also going to review graduation and college entrance requirements. And then we're going to talk about what your schedule will look like at El Camino so you can have a balance of classes that make sense for you. For example, you don't want to take too much at VC because you will be having to commit some time to El Camino. So kind of what that looks like. And then also some sample 4-year plans to help guide you. So if you aren't sure of exactly what it would look like or what kind of classes you would fit into your schedule, we do have some sample plans, as well as some next steps in the process. So before you select your VC classes, there's a few things that you need to do. Many of you have probably already done this, but just to review, you need to apply to Ventura College. So you need to go to their website and apply online. And after you submit your application, you're going to get a series of emails. The first one's just going to say, "Welcome to Ventura College. We got your application." The second email is going to say, this is your 900 number, and it's going to give you some steps to follow. The most important thing from that email is to record your 900 number. Your student ID number or your 900 number is going to be probably the number that you regurgitate the most as a student at El Camino. So you need to commit that to memory. So make sure that you write that down or secure that number in a location where you can find it. Also, you will get an email that has you set up your MyVC CD portal. So your portal is essentially something that is like a grading portal that you used in middle school or high school. So it's similar to like Q Parent Connect or that we use in Ventura Unified. But this is where you're going to get emails from teachers. You're going to be able to look at your grades. You're going to be able to sometimes submit assignments when you're taking online classes. So everything is handled through your VC portal. So when you do set this up, make sure that you record your username and password so that you can find it easily. Also, some things that you want to consider when selecting your classes. Make sure that we're going to talk about what you need to graduate, your college preparation requirements, what classes do you want to take just to explore career interest, or maybe you want to take a class for to learn a hobby or for fun like ceramics or drawing and painting or something like that. And then what classes help you get a jump start on your 2 or 4-year college degree. So just to recap what you need to graduate from high school, because some of you have probably already heard this in your 8th grade classes, maybe not, but you need 230 credits to graduate from high school, and your counselor will be working with you each semester to review your transcript and making sure that you're taking the right classes at the right year. And each class that you take and you successfully pass, you do earn 5 credits for that class at El Camino. So each semester you would take, like, for example, English, and then after a year you would earn 10 credits of English. After 4 years you would earn 40 credits of English. In math you need 3 years or 30 credits. Social science, that's US or world history, 2 years. Science, you need biology or earth and chemistry. Science, physical science. You also need physical education, 2 years. Many of our students take PE through Ventura College. Fine art, so that would be like your typical art classes. Like a lot of our students take art appreciation at the college. You also need an applied art, so you'll be taking college and career seminar your freshman year, so that would be 5 credits of the 10 that you'll need, but a lot of our students take intro to business or a computer class to meet the other 5 requirements. In addition, 9th graders take health, and then also there's electives. You need 65 elective credits to graduate. Most of your 11th and 12th grade year are considered electives. Those are classes from any department or kind of your overflow classes. For example, if you took 4 years of science instead of the 2 that are required for graduation, those extra 20 credits would be counted towards your elective department. So we will be reviewing this with you every semester, so don't feel like you need to commit this to memory. So besides just the graduation requirements, since you are essentially a college student while in high school, we ask that all of our students complete the college preparation requirements. So these are the classes that you need to take in order to be eligible to apply to a University of California or Cal State University campus your senior year, so that you would hopefully be eligible to go straight to a four-year college. So as you can see, these credits look very similar to that of graduation requirements, but some of the major differences are that you need to have like chemistry, for example, and we'd recommend that you take physics. Also, you should have a world language, but keep in mind that 2 years is required for a world language for high school students. But if you just take a semester of that world language at Ventura College, then that's the equivalent of 2 years at the high school. So they offer French, Japanese, sign language, Italian, Spanish, German, and I might be missing a couple, but those are a couple examples. And so that's something you'd want to fit into your schedule somewhere down the road, and isn't typically done in the 9th grade. Usually our students start that maybe in the 11th grade, maybe 10th grade, possibly. And then also college prep electives. So if you want to take a psychology class, sociology, so any class, which I'll get into here, would be considered a college prep elective. So then the other thing that you want to consider are, what are my college degree requirements? So these are essentially your general education requirements. If you were like a high school graduate and you were taking college classes for your 4-year degree, the college would generally want you to spend the first 2 years taking general education classes. So there are 6 areas of classes, and usually you have to take approximately 3 classes from each area. So there's English, math, arts and humanities, social science, etc. And then all these courses are weighted as like advanced placement classes, or you do get a GPA bump. So if you earn an A instead of getting 4.0 on your GPA, it would be 5.0. And then also all these classes not only help you meet graduation requirements, college preparation requirements, but also help you with your 2 or 4-year degree requirements. So this page usually involves a lot of confusion for a lot of our students, or causes that, but don't be overwhelmed with it. We'll help you select classes each semester that count towards this requirement. But just as freshmen, or if you're just getting started at El Camino, classes in area 3A like art appreciation or film or photo appreciation, or we also have some music classes like history of rock and roll and history of jazz. Those are great classes to get started in. And then also sociology or psychology classes. Those are some common classes that our students take as well in the first year when they're just beginning at El Camino. So what will your schedule look like for next fall? This is kind of just to help you visualize what it will look like. In August, when you get started, you'll be taking 4 classes at El Camino. So that usually includes English, science, or if it's not science, it might be a social science like world or U.S. history for a 10th or 11th grader. You'll also be taking health as a 9th grader, or maybe an elective for a 10th or a 12th grader. And then you'll also be taking maybe an applied art or an elective. So those classes are taken generally 1 at a time, or maybe 2 at a time. But you're not having to balance all those 4 classes at once, and you are working with your teacher at El Camino on an independent study basis to get through those classes. In addition to that, you are also signed up each semester for taking 2 Ventura College classes. So these classes go from August until December, and then the second semester is from January until May. And so generally you take 1 class, possibly 2 if you're taking physical education. So for a 9th grader, you might be taking PE and then an elective or math. Or if you're not taking PE because you're taking it with your El Camino teacher, you might be taking an elective like sociology and then math class. So just keep in mind that 1 semester class at Ventura College is equal to 1 year-long class at the high school. World language is a little bit different, but if you were to take like Math VO1, which is the equivalent of Math 1 at the high school, you just take that in fall or spring, and that's the equivalent to the whole year at the high school. So if you don't take math in the fall at VC, then you'll be taking it in the spring, and you'll be right on track with the rest of your peers that might be at a regular comprehensive high school. So we encourage students to kind of work out a schedule of what it would look like for them when and how they're going to work out their day, because everybody's schedule is going to look a little bit different. So you can select your classes at Ventura College like on a Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. In this particular example, the VC classes are in orange. So they have PE classes at 10 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, and then they have math class from around 10 to 12 on Tuesday, Thursday. And then they've agreed to meet with their El Camino teacher in the morning on Monday, Wednesday. So you're going to work with your El Camino teacher in August to figure out what classes you're taking when at Ventura College, so that they can customize your schedule and work around what schedule you've built at Ventura College. So don't worry about your El Camino class or meeting right now with your teacher. That will come later and will work around your VC schedule. The purple represents when you're going to get your schoolwork done. So, if you work better late at night, you can do that later. And then green represents like maybe when you're doing a sport or extracurricular. So work that out. Everybody's schedule is different. These are just some sample for your plan. So if you wanted to click on the links and look at what it would look like for an El Camino or El Camino student, what classes they'd be taking at El Camino, and also VC year by year from 9th through the 12th grade year to meet their 2-year degree requirements. So when you graduate, you also get an associate's degree on top of your high school diploma. This is very rigorous. There is some summer school involved, but definitely is doable, so you can look at that. Also, there is a plan for STEM students if you're a science, technology, engineering, or math student and wanted to look at what that 4-year plan looks like. It's less humanities and arts and more math and science involved. And then also what it would look like is if you are doing something less rigorous, meeting college entrance requirements, but not necessarily getting your AA degree at the same time you get your high school diploma. So we would highly encourage that most of our students select from these 2 classes when you are looking at what you're going to take next fall. These classes are going to be offered on our campus as Ventura College classes with a Ventura College teacher, but you're going to be with all El Camino students, so it's a great way for you to get to know your classmates on campus. And so both of these classes are highly encouraged by employers in the community, professionals, community members, teachers, because they can be so beneficial in your development and your future education. So one is Sociology VO3, and that's racial and ethnic group relations, that looks at patterns of prejudice and discrimination and strategies for their reduction. That's going to be Monday, Wednesday, 10 to 11:30. The other one is communications, and this is going to look at verbal and nonverbal communication, the role of self-concept, its assertiveness, listening styles, conflict management. So that's going to be Tuesday, Thursday, 10 to 11:30. So both of those classes will not only meet your graduation requirements and your college preparation requirements, but also your 2 or 4 year degree requirements for college. So we would encourage you to consider those classes. So what are some of the next steps? Well, first of all, you might want to consider, do you want to have a Monday, Wednesday schedule or a Tuesday, Thursday schedule at Ventura College? Because generally those classes are offered, with those choices in mind. Not all of them, but that's generally usually the first thing that I ask students is maybe you don't want to be off campus, 4 or 5 days a week. And so you can build it so you just have Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday schedule. So think about that. Browse the VC schedule, look at the course catalog for course descriptions if you had something in mind and you wanted to read about what those courses are all about or when they met. And then click on the link to meet with a El Camino counselor after May 3rd so that you can complete the paperwork to get you authorized to register for a college class as a high school student. So depending on what your last name is, you'll either meet with Miss Harper if your last name begins with A through K, and then Miss Napora, that's me, if your last name begins with L through Z. So after you select your classes, after talking to your counselor, Miss Harper or Miss Napora, and we get your paperwork squared away with Ventura College in the pre-authorization stage, what you're going to do is you're going to register for your classes in your portal, and we have a link there that gives you step-by-step instructions. It's kind of a little bit confusing the first time, but we're going to be available to help you if you need it, so don't get discouraged. Once you get done with registering for your classes, you're going to save and print what they call your schedule, and then you're going to send it to your counselor. So if you have any questions, just let me know.